Let's practice some reduction questions. These questions are from the grade 11 textbooks, just for us to refresh our memory. The question in example 2 says reduce each of these following to a trig ratio of an acute angle. Now we've got sine 130, cos 200, tan 320. What do we want? We want an acute angle, which means we want to reduce to something that is smaller than 90 degrees, right? That's what we're aiming for. So right now, if I sketch our first diagram, we know that this is 19, that's 180, and our 130 is in between there. So we're looking for this angle from here to there. But basically, we're actually only looking for this over there. So how do we go about doing that? Sine of 130 can be written as sine of 180 degrees minus 50. Those two together. And once you have that, what you can do next is you are going to reduce it and say, okay, according to cost, ST, in quadrant number 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to be able to do all of that from memory. Your 130 is in quadrant number 2. And in quadrant number 2, sine is positive. Can you see that? Sine is positive in quadrant number 2. So your answer is going to be positive sine, and you take this angle from your reduction, positive sine of 50 degrees. That is your answer. So what did you do? You kept your sine the same, and then you changed your 130 degrees, you split it into two, 180 minus 50, and you kept the 50 as positive 50 degrees, but you kept sine as positive because it's positive in quadrant 2. Let's do the same thing for cos of 200. So let's start with our Cartesian. Cos, right? Our angle is, that's 90, 180, 270. So that means our angle must be here in quadrant number 3. If it is in quadrant 3, tan is positive, which means that cosine is going to be negative. So let's go ahead and split this up. This can be two things, but what we're going to do in this diagram is we're just going to work on the x-axis. Okay, so we're going to use what the 0, 360 and our 180. So using the x-axis only, we are now going to go this way, which is going to be plus theta, right? Cos is equal to, cos of 200 is equal to 180 degrees plus 20 makes 200. Okay, now let's answer the question. We are keeping cos the same because we're using the x-axis. We are going to keep that 20 degrees because, that comes from our reduction. But the question, the third question we need to answer is cos positive or negative in quadrant 3, and the answer is only tan is positive, so cos is negative. Cos of 200 is the same as cos of 20, negative cos of 20. Okay, third one we want to do is tangent of 320 degrees. So again, you've got your plus and 320, we've got 360 here and 270 there, so it's going to be in that quadrant number 4. In quadrant number 4, cos alone is positive, which means tan is negative. That means that I expect this to be negative tan because it's in quadrant number 4. Now let's calculate the size of the angle. Tan of 320, remember we're using the x-axis. So using the x-axis, we're going 360 down, which means it's subtract. So this ends up being tan of 360 degrees minus theta. So that minus 40 degrees gives me 320, which means I have negative tan of 40 degrees. That there is our first example of reduction. Let's do another one.